to our research advisor, Mrs. Hainga Maylin, and to our research panelists, Ma'am and Sirs, everyone, good afternoon. We, the Group 1 from the BSMT 31 of Magdalosite, would like to present our qualitative research, which is entitled On-Board Pandemic Experiences on Cultural Diversity in the Lens of Ilonggo Seafarers. Chapter 1. Background of the study. Today and even before, maritime companies hire crew composed of different nationalities and cultural backgrounds. This move is due to true diversity extend beyond gender, nationality, and ethnicity, and gaining the benefits from diversity requires the behaviors, attitude, systems, and processes that build an inclusive company culture to be considered. Rationale. It is one of the current relevant issue on the maritime industry. It's not yet well researched and there are still a lot of research gaps that need to be addressed, like cultural and diversity barriers, and as well as not recognizing, respecting, and valuing differences based on ethnicity, gender, age, race, religion, and sexual orientation. Additionally, the researchers want to contribute in the field of maritime industry towards the expansion of knowledge about this topic and to contribute towards achieving sustainable solution to the problems brought by this topic.
Research questions. Generally, the study aimed at narrating the live challenges and experiences of Ilonggo seafarer in attaining cultural diversity in maritime industry. Specifically, it aimed to address the following questions. What are the challenges encountered on cultural diversity of Ilonggo seafarers on board? What are the coping mechanism of Ilonggo seafarers on challenges encountered related to cultural diversity on board? Since this study revolves around the challenges experienced by the seafarers on cultural diversity, the following assumptions were formulated. First, it is assumed that there are challenges encountered by the respondent about cultural diversity and discrimination about their ethnicity, age, ranks, and sexuality. The second, it is assumed that the respondents' coping mechanisms they use is through communication because understanding each other creates bond and good relationships towards crew member.
Chapter 2. Review of related literature. Tackling the challenges of multicultural crewing practice in the shipping industry. Shipping industry appeared by an approach to enhance culture awareness among crew by Fang Hu, November 11, 2017. The dissertation aims to provide insight to enable seafarers and shipping industry to be more confident and competent in dealing with multicultural environment on ship, and help them understand that cultural diversity or multicultural manning does not have to be major risk that endanger shipping safety. If managed properly, seafarers may benefit from an inclusive cooperative culture, and cultural diversity may become a core competence and a source of sustainable competitive advantages. The survey was administered to our target group of seafarers or former seafarers who have work experience on multinational manned ship. The questionnaire was emailed to the World Maritime University facility. A student in the class of 2017 and the class of 2018, a total of 102 responses were collected and 86 of them were screened as usable. Eliminating those with missing values, that the 86 respondents represent a good variety of ethnic and racial backgrounds, accounting the 21 countries, but the 36 dominating majority of the respondent, 59.3%, were from China, and the numbers of respondents from other countries was much fewer, ranging from 1 to 7.
Promoting cultural awareness through welfare in maritime education and training by Dr. Mumuko Kidata. Based on discussion about emphasis on culture without making stereotypes, this paper defined effective promotion of cultural awareness can be achieved in a healthier and positive attitudinal approach. Hence, the scope of this paper focused on how positive cultural awareness can be cultivated in MET to stimulate attitudinal change among peers. The lecture in 2014 was given by traditional classroom teaching method to the group of 17 students. These students were nationally diversified. The study also found that an early exposure to different culture while cadet study in MET institution helped to foster so-called soft skill to negotiate and harmonize with other nationalities of the crew.
Multinational and multicultural seafarers and med students, a sociocultural study for improving maritime safety and education of seafarers by Didin Alpiani Sosetiu. The aim of this dissertation is to make readers, in particular the maritime society, realize and become aware of the importance of socio-cultural education in multinational shipping in order to minimize the safety risk. The discussions mainly focus on the socio-cultural approach in the light of the human element, human factor. A total of 188 respondents participated in this survey and equals to 188. The respondents were from almost all the inhabited continents in the world: Africa, America, Asia, Middle East, and Europe. The samples and the interviewees cannot be taken from all parts of the world, although the participating respondents were 69 from different nationalities. This could still only be a relatively small sample.
The specific research design that was used in this study is a narrative inquiry. A narrative inquiry was the method and the researcher's way of understanding experiences. It was a collaboration between researchers and the respondents. Over time, in a place or series of places, and in social interaction with their milieu. Respondents and sample. The participants of this study will be the 5 Ilonggo seafarers that has an experience lived on board vessel, specifically who worked with different nationalities. A convenient sampling was used in choosing the participants based on their availability and willingness to take part. The researchers will make interview schedule guided duly by experts. Included questions that elicited detailed personal experience to ascertain the lived challenges experienced by seafarers that work with different nationalities on board. With the consent of the respondents, Zoom or Google Meeting or face-to-face interview will be conducted with an agreement not to publicize through video broadcast the said recording, but only validate what they said. Validity. The results will be obtained. The correctness of the findings will be establishing through validation from the participants themselves and from the experts. Thereafter, conclusions on the data analyzed will be done.
Chapter 4: Presentation, Analysis, and Interpretation. Question number 1. What are the challenges encountered in cultural diversity of Ilonggo seafarers on board? 5 key participants were asked about the challenges they encountered on social diversity. 3 themes emerged: language barrier, food, and religion. Language barrier. Aspiring seafarers, we are bound to set to sea someday, and we can't avoid meeting and working with different nationalities in a diverse workplace. As an individual who will be working on a multicultural environment, we have to know in advance the nationalities of our crewmates, and we are obliged to learn and research their culture and tradition in order to avoid culture shock on board the vessels. With this, we can easily adapt to our new environment, and we are certainly avoid misunderstandings and improve the teamwork on board the vessel. Food. As an aspiring seafarer, to eliminate food conflict on board, you may ask permission to the cook for your valid reasons regarding of the food that's served during refreshments. As an individual, we have the rights to hear our voice to make an actions for the food that's served on us, because not everyone has the same culture that you used to have. But in legality, everyone has the right to have a good meal that's served with no barriers among them. Religion. As an aspiring seafarers, we need to connect to other crewmen and give time to know about their culture and religion to avoid insensitive action conflicts. Being diverse in religion is not easy. We need to adjust in one another to create good relationship and wisdom on work. Communication is important for this issue because diversity of religion, because without communicating to one another is not effective when it comes to teamwork.
Table 2. Coping mechanism on challenges encountered related to cultural diversity on board. First is safety meetings. As aspiring seafarers, it is important to have safety meetings to avoid danger on board while working in their designated area. Safety must always be priority one. Safety must never be taken for granted. Regular safety meetings are important to keep people aware of protocols and procedures. Adherence to this practice will help to mitigate unsafe event. Senior officer must encourage such crew members to talk freely and honestly about their anxieties in order to prompt assistance and guidance to save them from an oncoming calamity. Safety sessions also allow the entire ship crew to share their experiences. Next is maintain good relationship. As aspiring seafarers, maintaining good relationship among crew members is the best way to have good working place and easily approach them with no barriers. Another thing, enhance interpersonal relationship between people on board to ensure that all jobs are done smoothly and safely. True festival celebrations are also a great way to enhance and maintain good relationship between people on board. Doing this would not only ensure smooth and safe operations of the ship, but would also improve productivity and employment satisfaction. Respect. As aspiring seafarers, when someone is respectful in the workplace, they will be respected back by their peers and crew members. Respect is important in every situation. It is especially vital in a career settings because these types of business relationships can make or break your future with others. On board, respecting others' opinion, feelings, etc. will make for good friends and family. Friendships are built on mutual respect because there is openness about personal issues to help one another with hardship in life. Next is avoid discrimination and criticizing. As aspiring seafarers, discriminating and rudely criticizing other people is not a good gesture or actions of a competent seafarer. Instead of going against each other, we should be promoting unity and camaraderie. With this, we can expect an efficient and excellent outcome in the workplace. Having friends that you can rely anytime and anywhere is better than having enemies that could unexpectedly betray you. Remember that one of the first steps in becoming a good human being and a competent person is by showing respect to others.
Chapter 5. Summary, Conclusion, and Recommendation. Summary. There are 3 challenges encountered on cultural diversity of Ilonggo seafarers on board, such as language barrier, food, and religion. Based on the analysis, many challenges or impediments in marine are caused by language limitations. Every year, linguistics problems, a lack of communication, and misunderstandings on board merchants, both are leading causes of maritime accident. Food has a significant impact on our mental health. This is especially important for sailors who are unable to go out or order takeout at the best of circumstances, but have been forced to stay on board for far longer than normal owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. And lastly, religion. Views mariners disclose to the team how many people who have faith develop their own set of religious beliefs to deal better living and working situation.
The Ilonggo seafarers were asked about their coping mechanisms on challenges encountered related to cultural diversity on board. 4 themes emerged such as safety meetings, maintaining good relationship, respect, and avoid discrimination and criticizing. The coping mechanisms of Ilonggo seafarer on board was by having a safety meeting, maintaining a positive outlook on every situation on board, learn to focus in calm and making appropriate decisions based on the circumstances they face on board. By also maintaining good relationship toward their crewmates to ease their burdens and uncertainties on board. Respect in order to have safe and efficient operation of ships on board to work as a team. And teams that work best are those where team members feel valued. Lastly, is by avoid discrimination and criticizing in order not to make someone feel intimidated, humiliated, degraded, or offended to promote teamwork and safety of life at sea.
Conclusion. In the challenges experiences of the 5 Ilonggo seafarers in general, for the challenges they encountered on cultural diversity on board, misunderstanding and are often mentioned as causes of maritime incidents. Working with international crews and the world, it became clear that working on English language proficient is a good start but not good enough. Intercultural misunderstandings are also important. Proper communication helps prevent misunderstandings between crew members with different culture backgrounds and to develop cross-cultural communication competence.
Second, in the coping mechanisms of the 5 Ilonggo seafarers in general, based on the given answer by the participants, the coping mechanisms of Ilonggo seafarers they encounter related to cultural diversity on board, the number factor is to have respect on how they overcome cultural diversity on board. Respect is essential in any scenario, but it is especially critical in the workplace since these sorts of commercial interactions may make or ruin your future with others. Respecting others' beliefs, feelings, and so on will result in wonderful friends and family. Friendships are based on mutual respect because there is openness regarding personal matters to assist one another in dealing with life's difficulties.
Recommendation. In views of the data from the findings and subsequent conclusion drawn from analysis and interpretation of data, the researcher would like to offer the recommendations or suggestions that may benefit the following. For future seafarers, this study recommends that they should attend different kinds of webinars about maritime that deals with cultural diversity on board. Read literature and learn from different cultures. Absorb media and art from around the world. And lastly, if you see anyone who is being culturally insensitive, speak out against it. For seafarers, they must try to have different kind of activity, open forum, and safety meetings in order for them to promote healthy relationship among crew member and lessen the conflicts on board. Be open-minded to listen, to let go of judgment. Travel the world as much as you can to take part in cultures and understand them from the source. For future researchers, they must try to widen their scope of the study if they want to pursue study like this. They must choose professional seafarer that has a higher position on board so that the experiences will be richer and more interesting. For institution, the researchers recommend that they will provide different kinds of webinars that promote teamwork and talk about having good relationship among crew members on board because the life of sea and land are very big different in real life situation. For Marina, the researcher would like to recommend that all aspiring seafarers taking maritime course will be having a briefing regarding to diversity and For Marina, the researcher would like to recommend that all aspiring seafarers taking maritime course will be having a brief regarding. For Marina, the researchers would like to recommend that all aspiring seafarers taking maritime course will be having a briefing regarding the diversity and culture of the different country. They will conduct a seminar or training on how to deal with diversity among crew members to have productive relationship on board.
References. Appendix Questionnaire. Question number 1. What kind of different nationalities you encounter on board? Can you describe their traits and personality? Question number 2. What are the challenges you experience in multicultural environment and diversity? Question number 3. Do cultural differences and diversity affect the crew's performance on board, and how? Question number 4. How can cultural diversity affect your personality and your daily life on board? Question number 5. How do you handle those diversities in order to maintain good relationship among them? And lastly, what can you suggest or recommend to other seafarers and future seafarers in order to overcome cultural diversity barriers?
Acknowledgement. With humble hearts, we would like to extend our thanks to everybody who had contributed in the accomplishment of this research endeavor despite a lot of problems we faced due to this pandemic. Firstly, our Almighty God, who has given us enough strength and wisdom to complete this paper despite problems and challenges brought by COVID-19. Secondly, our Research 2 teacher, Mrs. Mylene S. Jainga, and paper advisor, Second Mate Oscar G. Bermudo, who serves as our guide while on the process of doing this paper and assisting with the research content and for initial checking of the paper until start to finish. We are also immensely grateful to our board of panels who corrected to make our research paper more precise and for their comments on their earlier until final revision of manuscript that help enhance the contents of this research paper. Thirdly, we would like to thank all of the participants who are given us time and effort to be our respondents in this research. Without them, we cannot able to perform our data regarding to their experiences on board. We humbly appreciated their willingness to be part of our research paper. Lastly, we, the research, thanks for the guidance of the family who supported us with our financial problems and give us strength and motivation to reach goals to finish this study. Despite of the pandemic, they are the one to guide us to make our vision clear in our research paper. Research documentation.
So there you have it, ma'am and sir. At this time, we would like to say thank you so much for your interest and attention. We sincerely appreciate that we had this opportunity to present to you our research paper. Once again, we are the Group 1 from the BSMT 31. Thank you and God bless us all.